Have you ever wondered what it means to see God? Will it overwhelm you, transform you, or have we misunderstood it? What will that first moment feel like for you? What will it mean to see God face to face? There is a promise in the Bible that most people read and never fully stop to think about. It's short, simple, almost easy to miss. But if you truly understood it, it would change everything you think about heaven, about God, about your future. The promise is this: they will see his face. Not a vision, not a symbol, not a distant glimpse, his face. And yet, just a few pages earlier in Scripture, we are told, "No one may see me and live." So which is true? If seeing God is impossible, how can it also be our ultimate destiny? And if one day you really will see him, what will that moment feel like? Will it overwhelm you, transform you, define you, or is it something we've misunderstood entirely? Today, we're going to uncover one of the deepest truths in Scripture. Not just that you will see God, but what it will actually mean. Before we answer that question, we need to correct something, because many people have built their understanding of heaven on the wrong foundation. We imagine something abstract, floating, ethereal, disconnected from the world we know. But the Bible paints a very different picture. Heaven is not about becoming less human. It is about becoming fully human, resurrected, restored, alive in ways we have never experienced, and not in a distant realm, but on a new earth, real, physical, renewed. If we miss that, we will misunderstand everything that follows, because seeing God is not about escaping reality. It is about entering the truest reality we were made for. There is something inside you that has always been searching. You've felt it, in moments that almost feel perfect. A sunset that stops you. A memory that feels alive again. A moment of love so deep it almost hurts. And then it passes. And when it does, something inside you whispers, "This isn't enough. There has to be more." We try to fill that space with success, with relationships, with experiences, but nothing fully satisfies. Why? Because what we are really searching for is not something, it's someone. Scripture says, "My soul thirsts for you, my body longs for you." Not just the soul, the body. Every part of you was designed for God, which means this: the reason nothing fully satisfies you is because you were never meant to live without him. But why has God always felt distant? If God is what we long for, why has he always felt out of reach? Why has seeing him been impossible? The Bible gives a clear answer. God is not just loving, he is perfectly holy. And his presence is not something humanity can casually enter. When Moses stood before God and said, "Show me your glory," God replied, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." Scripture describes God as dwelling in unapproachable light. In ancient Israel, only one person, the high priest, could enter the Holy of Holies, and only once a year. Tradition says a rope was tied to his ankle, in case he died in God's presence and had to be pulled out. That is how serious this was. So when the Bible later says, "They will see his face," it is not comforting language. It is shocking. God was never far. The problem was never distance. The problem was sin. God's holiness is absolute, and sin cannot exist in his presence. So humanity could not experience God fully, not because God was unwilling, but because we were unprepared. Then something happened in history that changed everything. Jesus came, not only to forgive sin, but to remove the barrier completely. Through the cross, sin is dealt with, Through the resurrection, humanity is transformed. And then Scripture says something that changes everything. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Read that carefully. We are transformed, and then we see him. That means the ability to see God is not natural to fallen humanity. It is part of our resurrection. Even now, believers who die are with the Lord, and that is beautiful. But the full promise is still ahead. The day when resurrection is complete. The day when humanity is fully restored. The day when we will finally see his face. For centuries, theologians searched for a way to describe this moment. They called it the beatific vision, the sight that makes us truly happy, the sight that fulfills every longing, the sight that ends every search. What sight? God. To see God's face is the highest hope Scripture gives us, the greatest aspiration of the human soul. And yet, if we're honest, it is not always what we desire most. Why? Because we don't yet understand what it means. But once we do, everything changes. Because this is the truth. The greatest gift of heaven is not what God gives you. It is that God gives you himself. Imagine a boy, blind, abandoned, lost. One day a king finds him. The king brings him into the palace, adopts him, raises him as his own. The boy grows up hearing about the king, his goodness, his strength, his love. He knows the king, he trusts the king, he loves the king, but he has never seen his face. Then one day, his eyes are opened. For the first time, he sees the one who has loved him all along. That moment is something like what awaits us. We know God now, we love him now, we belong to him now. But one day, we will see him. What will it actually feel like? Try to imagine it. Not fully. You can't, but try. Every moment in your life where you felt awe, every time beauty stopped you in your tracks, every moment of deep peace or joy, those were not the destination. They were reflections, echoes, previews, because what you were really responding to was God. And one day, you will no longer see reflections. You will see the source. And when you do, everything changes. To see God is to be filled with his beauty, his holiness, his joy, his life. The closer you are to him, the more alive you become. This does not erase who you are. It completes who you are. This is not just an emotional experience. It is a transforming experience. To see God is to be changed by him. His beauty becomes your beauty. His holiness shapes your life. His joy fills your being. The more clearly you see him, the more fully you become what you were created to be. Now, here's a question people rarely ask out loud. Wouldn't even this eventually feel normal? Wouldn't eternity flatten into repetition? The answer is no, because God is infinite. There is no end to his greatness, no end to his beauty, no end to his wisdom. One theologian said, God will be seen without end, loved without weariness, enjoyed without exhaustion. This is not a static experience. It is an endless unfolding, every moment revealing something new, forever. We often think of heaven as a place, a world, a city, a restored earth, and it is all of those things. But this is the truth. Heaven is not primarily about where we will be. It is about who we will be with. Everything flows from God. The beauty, the joy, the purpose, all of it comes from him. And then it happens. The moment your life has been moving towards since the very beginning. You stand in eternity, resurrected, whole, alive, and for the first time, you see him, not through faith, not through shadows, but face to face, And in that moment, everything makes sense. Every longing, every question, every tear, all of it finds its answer in Him. And you realize, this is what I was made for. Remember this: your deepest longing is a longing for God. Humanity could not see God because of sin. Resurrection makes it possible to see Him. The beatific vision is the greatest joy of heaven. Seeing God transforms us. This joy will never become boring. And the greatest gift God gives us is Himself. If this changed the way you think about heaven, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. In the next episode, what will it mean for God to dwell with humanity forever? And I want to hear from you. What do you imagine that first moment will feel like? Write it in the comments. And share this with someone who is searching. Because the truth is, you are not just searching for meaning, you are searching for God. And one day, you will see Him.